Welcome to Life Mastery Lounge, is where mindset meets midlife and your next chapter or next business idea begins. I'm Sara, a clarity and growth coach, helping everyday midlife women reinvent their lives and their work with confidence, purpose, and a little midlife magic. Because you don't need another course, you need connection. Hi everyone. Hi Norma. Thank you for being with us today. I'm excited to have you here.
Sarah, it's so nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. So, Norma, let's hear a little bit about you. Who are you, my friend? I know who you are, but there may be people that have been living under a rock and they haven't seen all the good things you are up to. And tell us about it.
Yeah, well, thank you again. I appreciate being here and I love doing anything for you and supporting you. This is a lot of fun just talking to you and just having a conversation. So, who am I? So in my bio, you'll see that I'm a retirement coach. And, but I think it's not more than that, but it's supporting women. In my career, I've always had fantastic mentors. I've had people look out for me. I've had people supporting me. I've had people guiding me. And then as I got, in that age of wisdom, um,
I
I
like it.
started mentoring people and I started guiding people and I, love to see their transformation. I love to see how they developed through the years. And retirement is my story because we all have a job that we had to do. Some of us had a job that was truly our passion and loved going to work every day. I loved going into work. I loved, I supported patients. I worked in pharma for 33 years, but it wasn't my sole purpose. I didn't feel like I was fulfilling my passion. Um, so I know that's a lot to unpack. I mean, I was talking about mentoring, being mentored, and that's what I want to do now. I want to be there for women that are going through retirement or, not necessarily retirement. We'll talk about the legacy studio, but it's women that are going through a transition, women that are in retirement, women that have lost their jobs and now looking for something else. And it's not about reinvention, it's about following your passion, following who you want to be at your core. This is an opportunity now to find what you enjoy and fulfilling it. My pharma career, I had to do it. I had to support my family, but it wasn't my passion. So,
Yeah, I
so that's,
totally
I mean,
see
that's a
that.
little bit about me. 33 years in pharma. It was really an opportunity. I've met wonderful people, but now it's an opportunity for me to support other women and other people and help them grow and see through, that transition or through retirement. And yeah,
So, did you start that right after you stepped away from your job? How did that transition happen for you? What was it like you said, being 33 years in a job that you liked going in, you did well, but that wasn't really fulfilling, which is, sadly or not, it's the everybody's story almost, right? So what was it like? Did you start this new coaching, mentoring right off? Did you know it would be a business? Did it start out as something you just did because people knew and came to you naturally? How was that for you?
yeah. I honestly didn't think it would become a business because it came naturally to me. I loved being there and mentoring and having younger women under me that I was coaching. And, that's what I was doing as, you have people that report into you, but to me, they weren't, I wouldn't call them subordinates. To me, they were people that I was helping grow so that as I moved on, they can take over, like I was grooming them for their next position. So I loved doing that. So I never saw it really as a business, but I had a 3 hour commute to work back, for the day, an hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half at night. And I would listen to Wayne Dyer. I loved Wayne Dyer. He was my like guru, because my job was very soul crushing and I needed something to help with the mindset. As we know, mindset is just so important. And as I was going into work and thinking like, oh my God, I just can't do this. Wayne Dyer is like, yes, you can. And here's the way to reframe it, right? Here's how to get through your day. So he was really my mentor and my spiritual teacher. Um, and I knew that someday I'd retire, and I didn't know what that would look like because I am not the type of person that can just sit there all day and not feel fulfilled. So I created a 5-year plan. And my 5-year plan, started probably like 15 years before, but I was always into energy and healing and all that. And I started with Reiki back in 1997 before my oldest was born. I took Reiki certification and ended up going all the way to my master certification, which I got in 2012. Yeah, 2012. I got my master certification. And then that like started building the foundation because I always loved health and wellness and spirituality. So from there, I went into my yoga certification. Then, upon retirement, I got an email, and this is like my path. Like doors have just opened, and I've just navigated through them. And I got an email from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And I said, I've always been into health and wellness. Let me get a certification. And it was more for me, not that I would think that I would be a health coach, but just because that's what I enjoy and I enjoy talking to people about it. And then after that, I got an email about the uh, what we did together, the life coaching, which is where I met you. And it was another door that opened. And again, it was like, well, let me continue building the foundation of different things that I like. And then I did do coaching with the LA Times, which I absolutely loved. We did webinars, monthly webinars, and that was a lot of fun. And with that, because I was supporting people on their health and wellness journey, we did yoga sessions that I was like, I like this. And this is where like I was like, maybe this is where I want to go, how I want to fulfill my passion. And then you and I beautifully did the Life Mastery magazine, did that with you
We
for a year,
did.
which was just fantastic and another growth opportunity for me, and now I love seeing what you're doing with it and how you're growing it and the vision that you had and really um, just blowing it up. I love
Thank
seeing
you.
it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so no, it was not. My path has always been doors that opened for me. I got to the point even in my career that I didn't even interview for a job. I just had a door open and say, Norma, we see what you do. How would you like to come and do it here? And that's the way I've always navigated. So even on this journey that I'm at, it could change next week, it could change next month, it could change next year, but for now, this is how I feel I am serving myself best and serving the people that I love and want to support.
That's amazing. Yes, and you did launch Life Mastery magazine with me, which was amazing, and I'll always be grateful for that. And Yes, I also I see what you mean. Everything kind of stacks, and you know you learn something more, and you get experience in something more, right?
Yes.
Um, so you say that for now that's what is, but I'd like to ask you one thing, and you touched a little bit. How important is community? Be it now, be it before. How important do you think community is for especially women? I would say. I mean, men have their own, but for women, because we're always busy, we always had things to do, and it feels a little bit trickier to get time to just be in community or to go and be with friends, whatever it is. So what is the the weight of community, would you say, in your life at this time right now?
Yeah. And to your point, as women, we're always multitasking,
We
right?
are.
So we never, so community is very important. And as we know, like with the Blue Zone, they talk about community and longevity, and people live longer when they are in a setting of community. So it's absolutely important because we're able to share our journey with other women. We'll talk about women. We're able to be there for them, support them, guide them with whatever experience we've been through. So I think it's just so important. And I think more so since COVID, and more so since I think we became very isolated since COVID, more Zoom meetings, but actually Zoom turned out to be a good thing because it was able to bring that community together. Though we're not, physically touching, we're still able to be together and share, what may be going on in our life. And this is why I started the Legacy Studio. When I was doing my retirement course, I was speaking to a lot of women, and that's what they were looking for. There was such a common theme that you don't what basically what they were saying is, I don't need you to tell me what my passion is or how to fulfill my passion. What I'm looking for is a sense of community. I feel lost since I've retired. I feel lost since I left my job. I feel lost. I'm in a transition, and people are looking for other women to just be there, hold the space.
Yeah.
And, in the Legacy Studio, we're not just women that have retired. There's women that have been furloughed, lost their job. We've got government employees that, with the recent government shutdown. And Debbie and I hold the space for these women, and their themes. The upcoming theme for December is intention, setting an intention as we lean into 2026. But it's
Nice.
a matter of just having meaningful um, connections
Yeah.
and accountability. If you say you're going to do something, then the next month we're going to say, so Sara, last month, when you and I talked in the breakout room, you mentioned this, that, and the other thing. How's that going? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I'm going to do that. But it's just a matter of being together. And I
Yeah.
think it's so important when we talk about community.
I agree. Yes, and great minds think alike. I'm just saying. My whole premises for my own community and everything is you don't need another course. You need connection, because I also yeah I feel
I
we
love
are
that.
craving connections, because we know a lot of things, right? We know so many things, so much, and but what even the fact that we're not moving towards what we want is not because we need to learn something new. It's because we need that community. We need, like you said, the accountability. So I think it's amazing that you have this community that is showing up for these women who may not have it because, yeah,
I was going to say you are the master of connections because you've connected me with wonderful people, And even in the Legacy Studio, there were two sets of women that had so much in common that they connected.
It's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that.
And so, and it's, I'm thankful to you because you have helped me to see that community is important as well, because I enjoy being in your community and, seeing how people are connecting.
Mhm. It is.
I
It is.
walk away from some of these connections and from like networking, and I'm like, oh my God, I love that person. I'm going to have to, connect with them or message them. And we grow from that.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. It's really. I agree. It's amazing when we come together, women come together. I don't know. There's something special about that because I get the feeling that it's not always been that way, which is fine. But yeah, I feel that we see more rooting for each other, if you will, right now, cheering each other on, and that's so important in life as in business, right? I mean, it is. So, Norma, what is like lighting you up right now? Be it in your life, your work, whatever's going on in your life, in your world, I best said.
Life is good right now.
Mm.
I love, I mean, you and I spent a lot of time together in different networking and co-working and masterminds, and that's what's fueling me. I love just being in learning and growing and seeing what's out there. And I can spend my entire day at my desk because I love to learn. I love, the whole Bob Proctor, his entire like paradigm and how, the mind shift,
Yeah.
and I love that. I love the growth that I'm experiencing every time I'm in a room with somebody, or, your room, or it's been wonderful. So that's what's fueling me right now. I just love, again, it's community.
It
Community's
is.
fueling me.
Yes, it is
comes
community.
comes back comes back to community,
Yeah, I'm a Bob Proctor aficionado, but there's
which
one
I've learned from you again.
and I don't know if we've talked about this, but this is not about me, but I just think it's interesting. The best like tip, or no, the best thing that I've learned from him is what is it? Is we don't lack energy, we lack motivation and being excited about something. And it's so true because I'm not always like showing up to networking or this or that. And I wasn't because I was like, always feeling like, oh, and I would say I don't have the energy. But it's because I wasn't in the right rooms. I don't know. And the moment I decided that I was going to start showing up, like being happy about it, and I felt my energy level go a little bit high. Um, and so that's one thing. And sometimes I think about that because the other day we were talking and somebody said, "You're everywhere, right? You're showing up everywhere." And that got me thinking, and it's because I look at my energy in a different way.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting to see. So, yeah, we have a lot of conversations for those that are maybe watching or listening and don't know that. Now you do.
Yeah. Well, I was
Okay.
saying the other day, I think you have a double in the States because you are everywhere. Doesn't matter what time zone, 1 o'clock in the morning for you, you're on a Zoom call, and I'm like, wait, what time is it?
Because again, community, I'm sure I wouldn't do it for any call or anything, but these communities that I get to be in and that I love because like-minded people because,
Yeah.
values, because of whatever each one of us is going on, and
And
comes
it fuels
together.
you. It fuels you. It gives you the
It
energy that
does.
you're looking for. So it's, and I agree with you. I'm from the mindset that if it's not a hell, yes, it's a hell no, right? If
Exactly.
it's 1 o'clock in the morning and it's a Zoom call and I want to be there, it's a hell yes. I will do it because it's doesn't matter what time it is. It's something that will benefit me, benefit my community, fuel me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we sometimes look at things in a different light. What do they say? If you look different at the, differently at one thing, the thing you look at changes, right?
Yes, and that's
Yes,
my favorite quote from Wayne Dyer. If you
there you
change the
go.
way you look at things, the way you look at things change.
The things you look at.
Change,
Yeah, I
change. Yeah.
get all muddled up. Very good. I love that. I absolutely love that. And so, what would you say to that woman that is listening to this, that she just, got this episode, and she is in that job that's not fulfilling her? I mean, she does it, she likes it, but she knows it's not the thing. What would you say to her?
What I would say is start looking at what it is you'd like to do and maybe spend a little time doing that. Maybe you're at your job, 98%, spend 2% doing something that gives you the energy. Like for me, it was 3 hours in the car that I would spend listening to Wayne Dyer, and that fueled me. That, gave me the change in mindset. And it started building my foundation and start looking at maybe a plan, a 5-year plan.
That's
I
good.
think most of the people listening to, your podcast are probably, you know, late 40s, and start thinking about what you would like to do and start spending some time doing that.
That's good. Thank you. Yes. I have a few rapid fire closers. You game?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, number one. A word that defines this season of your life.
I'm going to say alignment because I truly feel I'm aligned with where I'm supposed to be. And that's today. We talked about this before. Like tomorrow I may be somewhere else. Next week it may be something else. But right now, and I try to live in the present. I try to live in the present moment, what is happening right now. I feel aligned. I feel like I am on the right path of where I'm supposed to be today.
Good. A book or quote that shaped you?
Well, Wayne Dyer.
Mm,
Yeah. And I would say, the quote, when you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change.
mm.
And it's perspective,
Yes.
and yeah. And I love, I think you were on this call the other day where someone said, your child is missed their curfew and you think they're dead on the side of the road. Well, maybe change that mindset and, they're having a good time and they lost track of time.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
So look at things differently.
Yes, absolutely. Some Something simple that makes you feel grounded.
My meditation.
Mm.
My meditation. I love my meditation. And my acupuncture. That I go every 2 weeks, but my meditation I try to do every day.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's 10 minutes because that's all I have in the morning, or sometimes it could go up to like 45 minutes. Sometimes I just get into such a deep zone that it really grounds me. And then I journal afterwards, which really helps set my
And what does self-care look like for you right now?
I would say again my meditation and my acupuncture. My acupuncture is very important. And water, lots of water. I carry my water bottle around with me. I always have something at my desk. It's very important to get water into the brain and into the body.
Thank you so much, Norma. I really enjoyed having you today with me, and thank you for making the time.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for inviting me. And let's do this again. This
Yes,
is
let's.
fun.
It's fun. We don't lack um, things to talk about. So
Conversation. No, we
yeah.
don't.
Thank you so much again, and I'll see you later.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much for listening or watching us today in the Life Mastery Lounge, where mindset meets midlife and your next chapter begins. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and connect with our community on Facebook at the Life Mastery Lounge. I'm Sara Fernandes, and I will see you next time.